looks good in my recording software. All right, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Off the Cut episode 20, which is respectfully dedicated to the food tapioca?
Tapioca.
Is that a
Okay.
food?
Yeah, kinda.
I thought that was like an ingredient.
It's like a pudding. My girlfriend
Okay.
likes tapioca, actually.
Huh. But I know up in Canada, today's better known as Tuesday, June 28th, 2022. And I'm sure he's not listening to this, but my good friend Byron, it's his birthday today.
Oh, nice.
So happy birthday, Byron. I'm sure you're not listening to this because I don't think you listen to this. But hey, if you are, we can't talk shit about you. Oh, I already got it.
Oh yeah, that was the explicit right there.
Less
hey,
than a minute in.
Do you think any of your friends listen to this podcast?
I doubt it.
Yeah, I think I've had a couple of my friends, like, one of my friends mentioned that he listened to a couple episodes, but he's not even like a woodworking guy or a DIY guy or anything. So I think he's just kind of listening to be nice, which I appreciate, but I don't really expect any friends or family to listen to this.
No, if I had to guess, I imagine that the only thing that people I know of actually look at is maybe like Instagram.
I think my people who know me in real life might actually just watch my stories and then like not mess with anything else that I do.
Yeah. What flavor did you just crack into?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should have said. This is a nice grapefruit bubbly right here.
Not grapefruit. This is raspberry.
Oh, raspberry.
Yeah. Everybody. This is for everybody at home. Yeah.
Oh, so crisp.
Oh, that was a good one.
Is it incredibly hot in Ohio today?
It's not too bad.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Okay. You got the beach outfit on, so I thought maybe you were a couple degrees
I just realized
warmer.
I still have my sunglasses on my head.
Who's the Casey Neistat's the YouTuber who does like every video wearing sunglasses?
Always has sunglasses on, huh?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
So
what we got? I got nothing on tapioca. I don't even know what tapioca is.
I forgot about tapioca. Tapioca's like warm pudding, I think. Is it rice based?
Yeah, it's a starch extracted from the storage root of the cassava plant, a species in North Brazil.
This is all too complicated for me.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and just give this one a hard pass.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this about tapioca. I've had it a few times. It's got one of these textures that kind of grosses me out a little bit. It's kind of slimy.
Like coconut water.
Oh man, I cannot stand coconut water. I don't know how people.
I like coconut water.
Do you? It's like thicker water. There's something about it that I just really.
It's like sludgy water.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it. For some reason, it just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. So for me, coconut water is solely what am I looking for? Drink?
Oh,
I don't know.
Like a hangover remedy?
Yeah.
Okay,
I only drink like coconut water and stuff like that if like I'm hungover or like feel really dehydrated.
Yeah.
Same with Pedialyte.
Yes, Pedialyte is like Gatorade essentially, right?
Yeah, but it's like ultra super duper concentrated Gatorade.
It's in case your baby gets diarrhea, you're supposed to give them Pedialyte, I think, right?
Yeah, or if yourself had too much alcohol.
Yeah, or if you're a grown man who just happened to tie a few on last night.
Yeah. Half a bottle of Pedialyte at night, the other half in the morning.
Yeah.
You wake up feeling like $100.
Yeah, my friend used to take a bottle of Pedialyte and like a Tylenol and an Advil when he went to sleep after a night of drinking.
A bottle of Advil.
No. Sorry. A bottle of Pedialyte and an Advil and a Tylenol.
Oh.
I don't know if I misspoke or.
Maybe I misheard it. But I was like, dude, a bottle of Advil? Like, I'm pretty sure that would kill you.
He was a little suicidal. He was a little emo.
unless you get one of those like gas station bottles of Advil that has like 3 pills in it and they charge you like $7
Such
for it.
a nightmare. I've fallen for that so many times. Like, oh yeah, I need a little Advil. I'll get some at the gas station. Comes in this little vial that's like 3 inches long and an inch wide. You're like, there's got to be 20 in there. No, not
Was
even
it like
close.
5?
Maybe 5 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're probably like the 25 milligram ones. So you're like, well, I literally have to take 5 of them.
Yes, yeah. You know what? I
Yeah.
used to do that. So I used to take like somebody gave me an Advil. I'd be like, "Oh, it's a regular one. You better give me like 3 or 4." And then I was like,
Yeah.
"Do I actually need to do this or am I just
I don't
destroying my
know.
liver?" I've kind of dialed it back and now I'm like a one regular strength Advil guy cuz I was worried I was doing damage to my body.
I mean, I I'm the kind of person where I'm pretty stubborn. So like I rarely take like Advil or anything like that. I'm like, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what we have.
I'm not a big cold remedy guy. Although I will say when I had COVID, I took Dayquil and NyQuil and that really helped. That took the edge off.
So have you any issues since you that was what, like 4 to 6 weeks ago?
Yeah, I would say something like maybe even a little bit longer. Maybe, yeah. The listeners will tell us. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, it kind of sucked when it happened, but no, lasting symptoms. I had like the littlest cough for like a couple weeks afterwards, but yeah.
Did you have COVID when you did your voiceover for that everything console?
No, no.
Oh,
I don't think so. Maybe the
because I
tail end of
just
it.
watched that
Did I have
today,
did I have a
and it
little
was like
like
3 weeks ago.
were you like, "Oh, Zach sounds a little raspy
Yeah,
right now."
a little under the weather, maybe.
Oh, interesting. Well, maybe it's possible. Did you like your little cameo at the end of that video?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I saw the cameo at the end. I left you a good comment. I was like, "I've heard about this video for months and months on the Off the Cut podcast."
That's nice. I'll pin that to the top so people see it.
Yeah,
That
and then
video
I didn't.
is go ahead.
No, and then I was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed the video too." I
Yeah.
was trying to give you a comment and plug the podcast, get
I
that
like it.
2 for 1
I
going on.
like it. I like it.
Yeah.
That video is finally starting to pick up a little bit of traction. It's one of those ones where I posted it and like didn't really do anything for 2 weeks. I was like looking at the stats, like click through rate is great, like average watch duration is great, but it's
Yeah.
still not doing anything in terms of views. And then it's been picking up over the last few days.
I saw you change the thumbnail several times because it was in my subscription tab, and I kept going, "Oh, I'm gonna watch that," but I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wait, I gotta wait till I have 20 minutes to sit down and watch the whole thing because I wanna make sure I give you a solid playthrough the whole time."
That's the downside to most of my videos are a lot longer, and I have a lot of people like I'll put out a video on a certain day, and they'll send me a message like, "Oh, I'm so excited for this! I'm gonna watch it on like Wednesday."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I realize it's a double edged. Like if you make really long videos, YouTube likes it, but then users have to like actually find chunks of their schedule. It's like not something you can watch on your lunch break or something like that.
True.
Yeah.
Dude, I finished that dining room table.
Oh, nice.
It's done. It looks sick.
Yeah, I bet it
Right
does.
now, just a soft edit where I would say I'm probably like 85 to 90% done with it. And then now I just have to do my voiceover.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at 59 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is, I told you I wanted to try to make this one long and very dense.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's going to be like at least 40 minutes long.
Really? Wow. So
Yeah.
what's taking up so much time in it? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so I what I'm trying to do is give a lot of like tips and tricks and explanation and not just be like, then I ripped the boards down and I glued them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, when you're doing this, like make sure you swap out this blade and like, oh, excuse me, all this other kind of stuff. And like, don't put too much pressure here. Like make sure the boards don't bow. Like try to give a lot of explanation because a lot
Yeah.
of people seem to really like the tips and tricks embedded into projects.
Yes. I'm personally very appreciative of them. And I try to include as many as I can in my videos, but I'm actually going to try. So it's funny you should say that because I'm actually, for my next video, I'm going to try and go the opposite direction where I'm going to try and
Crazy fast.
yeah, I'm gonna like breeze over a lot of stuff. I'll be like, and then I cut the body on the CNC, and then me cutting this something that took like an hour in real life is just gonna be like 2 2-second video clips.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I did that for the last couple videos of mine. Like they've been fairly short. They've been like that like 9 to 12-minute length.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they did just as well view-wise, but the watch time was a lot lower.
Yes.
So I don't know if that hindered me.
Well, that's the thing. YouTube's weird because they don't. watch duration is very important.
Yeah.
So because I've had short videos that people watched like 75% of, or
Uh-huh.
something like that. So it was like, say it was an 8-minute video, my average watch duration is 6 minutes. Which is good. But then I'll do another video that's 20 minutes and I'll have like a 60% watch duration or something.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
YouTube will give you like a little thumbs up if a video is doing better than normal.
Yeah.
And so it'll give me the thumbs up on the longer video where people are actually not watching as much of it. And it'll give me the like thumbs down or whatever, or the nothing on the one where that's shorter, but people are watching for longer. So I think there is something in the algorithm that prefers a longer video, even if people aren't watching it through to completion. That makes sense.
That's kinda what I'm thinking too. But if
Mhm.
you think about it logically, it's not possible for you to get that thumbs up on every single video
Yes.
because at some point you're going you get a thumbs up on did you get more views than the last video?
Yes.
Okay, so theoretically, every single video can get more and more views. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Um, watch time, or actually, let's hit click through rate.
Yeah.
Can that theoretically go up every time? Oh, you get to an upper limit,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
right?
theoretically, I guess you could always you could get to like 99.99, 99.9999, and just keep adding
Yeah,
nines on the end
yeah.
of it. But realistically, like you are going to hit an upward limit pretty quickly too.
And for the most part, I mean, if you find a video that for a long period of time is between 5 and 10% click through, like
Yeah.
that's solid.
Yes, yeah. I'm
Like,
if I have a video that's, especially, so at a certain point you'll realize your video is now reaching a wider audience. It's not just
oh
reaching
yeah.
your subscribers. You'll see like a big uptick in views. If you can keep your click-through rate around 5, if, or personally if I can keep mine around 5% after that hump happens,
Oh, going
then
to the moon.
exactly, then I'm quite happy at that point.
Yeah. But then the last one is watch time. It
Yeah.
dude, you can't keep that growing.
No.
You would start having to putting out videos that are hours and hours and hours long.
Yes. Or yeah. Or yeah. Yeah, you're right. You would have to keep, yeah.
Right? I mean, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah. You could just
Ugh,
start, Eric reads the encyclopedia A to Z.
yeah. Yeah, so I've actually thought like if I ever had to make a channel that was just completely out of left field, dude, I think I would do one of those things where people like go to the beach, set up a camera, and just record like the ocean for like
Mm,
60 minutes, and then you just put it on loop and do
yep,
like a 12-hour video of the ocean.
yep, yep. Yeah, I mean, why not? People would put it up in like the background of the restaurant or whatever, the
Yeah.
doctor's office, waiting room, like that type of thing.
And
Um,
like how easy would that be?
Dude, there's this guy in my city who he just walks around the city with a GoPro strapped to his chest and uploads that video. Today, we're going to walk around Chinatown. And he just walks around Chinatown, no editing, no commentary, just walking down the street, and he uploads that. And I don't know, I think he's got 20,000, 30,000 subscribers or something like that.
He's probably making, you know, at that rate, I have no idea how many views he's getting on these videos, but he's probably
Yeah.
breaking in a couple $100 a
Yeah, a
month.
couple. I mean, if you're just going for a walk, you're putting zero effort in. Like, say you're just a person who likes to go on walks.
Yeah, I just went on a walk today. I could have
Yeah,
monetized that
yeah,
walk.
exactly. You should be filming it. Come on, man.
Damn, damn, damn. Hey,
Um,
I was meaning to ask you, is your YouTube views, are
mhm.
they way down right now?
They were way down earlier in the month, but they're slowly picking back up a
Yeah,
little
okay.
bit.
I guess mine are kind of the same. I was just curious if it was everybody was kind of seeing it with it being the summer and whatnot.
I would say definitely my views kind of peaked around January, February. Then they kind of went down from there, and they're up a little bit from the trough, but they're still
Mm.
not great compared to what they were in the wintertime. But so many of these things, I don't really know. It's so hard to know what, like, maybe I just put out a couple stinker videos. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I always default to assuming that it's me myself doing something wrong and it's not some external factor. You know what I mean? Because if you assume everything is related to some external factor, then you can't really do anything about it. But if you're
True.
like, my last couple videos were really crappy, I should try harder on the next few.
Yeah.
That
Or that like you just let's say hypothetically you haven't put out videos in 3 months. Well, of
Yeah,
course your views are going to be down. Like,
exactly. And I
what do you
did
expect?
also have a couple, because I got COVID, I had a couple weeks where my production schedule got messed up and I was like 3 or 4 weeks late on my normal schedule for a bit. So maybe that had something to do with it. It's really hard to know. There's so many variables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what is a nice variable that we got today?
What's that?
We got new patrons.
Oh, baby.
So I told you about Jessica Lopez
Sure
last
did.
week.
Our first female patron.
Yes. However, I've been meaning to tell you something about Jessica, and things got out of control last week, and we just didn't have time,
Uh
right?
oh.
So for for everybody who doesn't know this, I'm a big bird guy, big pigeon guy, right?
Like the Sesame Street character, you're a big fan of Big Bird?
Yeah, that was actually my one of my nicknames in high school. I think I
Oh,
told you
you
that.
did tell me. You
Yeah,
did tell me
right.
that.
So I'm a big pigeon guy. Collect pigeons. I like to pet pigeons. Like to photograph pigeons.
I can't tell if you're
Even
messing.
eat pigeons. All
Okay,
right.
you're definitely messing with me at this point.
And so I do a lot of pigeon weddings, a lot of photography for pigeon weddings. And anyway, long story short, got into a little bit of a legal dispute with a local aviary. Okay.
Mhm.
And I've been searching around for a litigation team. I needed some help. And someone who really knows their stuff when it comes to bird law. And I found Jessica Lopez, who is nationally recognized as one of the best lawyers in aviary disputes, right? Graduated top of her class. And in when you go to get your, what is it, law degree in bird law,
Mhm.
they actually give you a golden pair of wings like they do when you go on airplanes as a kid.
Yeah, sure.
So, anyway, Jessica and I are in court together, and she's absolutely dominating the courtroom, smacking her hands around, yelling really loudly, making everybody just look like an idiot because she's real smart.
Obviously.
Lots of yelling, tons of witnesses getting cross-examined and everything. And during her concluding statement, she gives her final words. And Zach, are you ready for this?
I'm
She
ready.
said, Eric should be let free so he can spread his wings and fly. And then she releases a dozen pigeons in the courtroom, and everybody stood up and clapped. The judge immediately dropped the charges, and honestly, I couldn't be happier with having Jessica as my lawyer. That's a true story.
So, what is the backstory to this joke? Did Jessica send you like $10 on Venmo to say that?
No, we said last week that you're like you always know these patrons, right?
Oh, yes,
And I
yes.
didn't I didn't know Jessica, so I felt like I owed her a story.
I forgot you said you were going to make up a story about how you knew her. All I could think, are you an Always Sunny in Philadelphia fan? All I could think about was the episode.
Oh yeah, when Charlie's like, yeah, I know a lot about law, bird law.
Law. Yeah.
Uh, well, we also have another new patron,
Okay.
Mark Scott.
Oh, nice. What's up, Mark
Do you want to
Scott?
hear about Mark Scott, or do you want me to tell you about him next week?
Yeah, tell me about his how he's a practicing mole doctor next week.
He's a mole doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking like
I had a story for him, but I'll save that story for someone else.
what about our top tier returning patrons?
Oh yeah, our top tier returning patrons, Corey Duvall
Hmm.
and Scott Eastman at Eastie's Woodshop,
Right.
still returning, helping us out, as well as our other patrons. But if you want your name on every episode, you gotta be a top tier patron.
Hmm. But I'll tell you what, you don't get your name read on every episode, but you do get access to every single after show if you become a
That's
patron.
true. And for those people who decided, 19, that's not my number. You didn't want to listen to last week's episode. We gave the after show to free. God, we gave the after show this is going off the rails, to everyone for free last week. So if you go on patreon.com/off the gut podcast, scroll down to episode 19, it's free. You can
Mhm.
check out the after show, get a little taste of kind of what we talk about. Had a
Oh
lot of
man,
good
we
yeah, we had a great
we had a
conversation
great
over
time.
there.
Yeah,
We don't want to spoil it though.
yeah. I got a couple DMs from people saying that they're getting a lot of ads for caulking guns now, and they think it's related to the after
Oh,
show from last week.
yeah. Yeah, big cock guys over here.
A lot of power caulking last week.
Yeah. So anyway, we don't want to get taken off the air here. We're
Hmm.
talking about CAULK,
Yes, that's
just so we
correct.
can be clear.
Hey, we already got the
Um,
explicit warning on this episode, so I think we're free to talk about whichever type of
yeah,
cock we
yeah.
like.
No. Well, so there's something else I want to talk about, and here's a genuine thing that's been driving me nuts.
Okay.
It's been driving me nuts for several years now. All right, and I'm sure you've experienced this as well. Have you noticed within the last 5 to 10 years that when you go to shake someone's hand, you never know what kind of handshake they're gonna go with?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, are we talking just a standard, like, business handshake or, like the thing where, like, you wrap your thumbs around or, like, the thing where you smack your fingertips together and,
Or
like,
you do the
I
trailer
never know what
hitch.
to do.
Yeah,
Or the
there's
fist bump?
the fist bump. You know what? I found a lot of people lately are just transitioning to fist bump because of COVID, right? It's like a
Okay,
little
okay.
germ thing.
Yeah.
But you know what I haven't got in many, many years, and I'm very thankful for it, is the person trying to crush your hand. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
they're trying to give you the
Yeah.
power shake where they're like
Oh,
intimidating you.
yeah.
I remember getting that a lot in like the early 2000s, and it's just like completely dropped off the map now. So I'm thankful
Yeah.
for that. But yeah,
Well, see, you gotta tickle the guy's palm when if he gives you one of those.
I am deep down awkward introverted person. So I
Yeah.
feel your pain when it comes to like people go for the handshake and then it transitions to a hug, or it's like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, you go for the handshake and it's like a side hug type of thing. There's so many different variations on it.
Yeah.
I wish we could all just get on the same page.
Well, so and the reason I brought this up was because one of we were at the pool this weekend, had a bunch of friends over, and one of my friends, she was like, "Hey, do you I don't know the relationship status. I'm just gonna say boyfriend." She goes, "Hey, it doesn't matter, right?" She goes, "Hey, do you care if I bring my boyfriend?" I said, "Not at all. Bring him over." So like I had never met this guy or whatever, and then in my head I'm thinking, well, damn, what kind of handshake are we doing? Are we gonna
Oh,
do like this, like th- I don't know what we're doing. And so what happened is I went in for just a classic, let's call it the business handshake, just
yeah.
your typical handshake. And he was going for that thumb lock thing. So it just turned into this really awkward fumble.
Yeah.
And then I think because of that, then he went in for that like side hug, kind of
Oh,
like shoulder bump thing.
yeah.
Oh, dude, it was a train wreck.
I
Train
re-
wreck.
I remember once when I was like 13, I was going to meet my grandfather, and I met like my grandfather's friend, and he stuck
Sure.
his hand out to give me a handshake, and somehow I missed his hand. Like I just went
Mm.
overpass, and I ended up grabbing onto his like forearm a little bit. And then
Oh
he
yeah.
he went along with it, and he grabbed my forearm, and we kind of did like a forearm shake. It was I died a little bit inside. I really kind of pulled into myself like a turtle in that moment.
Yeah. Well, see, where I thought you were gonna go with that is now every time after that you've met this guy, he went and like shook your forearm.
No, thank God I never saw him again. One time I think I saw him walking down the street, and I crossed to the other side of the street just so I wouldn't have to have another awkward
You're like,
handshake
oh,
with
I
him.
gotta turn around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is what I'm talking about.
Mhm, mhm.
How do you avoid these awkward handshake moments, right?
I'll give you another one. The when do you hug people?
Mm.
So okay, so on Sunday evening, I was with a bunch of my friends, and I dropped
Okay.
my friend off to meet his wife. So
Okay.
I haven't seen his wife in a while, and she's there with their son. So I give her a big hug, I give the son a hug, and then
Yeah.
she's with her friend, and she, it's the first time ever meeting her. give her
Ugh, I see
we
where you're going.
we do a quick handshake, it's fine, and then we're all there for like 5-10 minutes talking, and then it's time for me to go. Again, I give my friend a hug, I give my friend's wife a hug, I give their son a hug, and then we're being talking for 5-10 minutes. Do I
Oh,
hug her
yeah.
friend? And it's like,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
it's
Was she
tough.
cute?
Yeah, and
Oh, yeah, go for a hug.
and she's hugging everybody too, right? Like we're kind of doing
Yeah.
this round of hugs, and it's just like me and her at the last minute. We're like, oh, I don't know, what do we do here? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like in that moment, you just gotta own whatever decision it is.
Yes. Yes.
So, like, when it comes for you to exchange pleasantries, if you wanna go for the handshake, just as soon as the 2 of you make eye contact, just shoot that hand out.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you give it that, like, awkward exchange of, like, we're just gonna look at each other and be kinda like, then it's worse. You
Yeah.
just gotta own whatever you want.
It's so true. It's so true. And for me personally, I'll hug my friends that I've known for a while, but I'm not the
Oh, sure.
most physical person. Like I'm not hugging everybody on the street. So I don't know, but I'm kind of naturally a stoic. So how do I approach that situation in your opinion? Do I just like take a step backwards?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
It's
It's
good. Like
tough.
if you want to go for the handshake, you can go for the handshake. But what if you just prefer no contact at all?
Well, do you just, like, cross your arms?
Yeah, but then you're like a weird standoffish guy, and you're like, next time I see my friend's wife, she's gonna be like, "Oh, my friend really hated you last last time. She thought you were
She's
real."
you're really rude.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Dude, I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know. And so, like, I still don't know, like, my sister's boyfriend,
Hmm.
they've been dating for, I don't know, year and a half?
Hmm.
Like, I met him plenty of times, great guy, but, like, even then, it's just like, do I shake your hand or I just say, like, "See ya," and just, like, nothing at all?
Right.
Like, do I
Yeah.
hug you? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's tough. It's tough. But like, I mean, with him, I don't. if he's gonna be in the family, I guess you got to start making an effort to go for the hug and stuff, right?
Yeah, but so, like, even my sisters, I don't hug my sisters, I hug my parents,
Yeah.
but I don't hug my sisters,
Oh, okay.
and
All right. Fair
I
enough.
think it's been so long now
Yeah.
that if I would try to change that role, I think it would be awkward.
Yes. What about the kiss on the cheek? I feel like I could never execute a good kiss on the cheek.
Oh, yeah.
It like happens
I feel like
sometimes
it's
like
kind of a grandma thing to
yeah,
me.
or like one of your mom's weird friends or something like that.
Oh, the one that tells you that "I've known you since you were this tall," and
Yeah,
you're like,
exactly.
"Lady, I still don't know who you
Yeah.
are."
What's your name? Like yes. Yeah, I've had that situation a few times.
I think the only way around it is just to, like, not forcefully put out what you want. So, like, if
Mhm.
you want a hug,
Mhm.
just as soon as, like, you step into that person's bubble and make eye contact, you just start grabbing,
Yeah.
man. You just go for
just
it.
just start grabbing meat.
Yeah. Whoa, hey, hey, that sounds like some after show stuff. Oh my god. Well,
But
no, dude, I don't know.
this
I
is
don't know.
why I'm a woodworker YouTuber because like I come home, I edit my videos, I go to the workshop, I work alone. I don't have to deal
Mhm.
with these like interactions. I feel like if I worked in an office setting, maybe I'd be a little bit better at them because I would have more practice. You get to shake 300 hands every year, but as is, I spend most of my time alone.
Yeah. You know what I do hate about having the day job
What's that?
is yeah, so I work from home. We know that. I have to join all these like Skype calls and stuff, and I refuse to turn my camera on. I always tell people that my laptop is in a drawer,
Yeah,
so I've never turned my camera on.
nice.
And so I'll join these meetings, and I'm usually the guy who's like a 10:30 meeting. I'm gonna join at 10:30 because I
Hmm.
don't want any of that awkward nonsense talk before the
Pre-meeting
meeting
discussion.
starts.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't need
worst.
that. And so I join, and then it'll be like one person's in the meeting. And of course, the one person that's in the meeting is the guy that you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. And so let's make up a name, Jerry.
Hmm. Oh,
Um,
Jerry. Yeah, perfect
Jer
name.
yeah,
Perfect name.
Jerry's there, and he goes, "Hey, Eric." And you're like, "Oh, what's up, Jerry?" He's like, "How was your weekend?" And you're like, "Dude, come
Jerry,
on."
come on. You just
Like,
like you should just say nothing. Like if your camera's not on, just act like you joined the meeting and you went out of the room to get a drink or something.
yeah, that's not bad. I've also done the thing where what I'll do is, like, if I join in and there's just one person there, I'll leave the meeting and
Yeah,
then and then join again and leave,
yeah,
join again and leave, and do
yeah.
that, like, 3 or 4 times.
Technical difficulties.
Exactly, and then I'll join, like, a minute late, and I'll be like, "Oh gosh, sorry, I was having a terrible time joining." Ugh,
I had a
Jerry.
meeting with a brand uh last let's say last Friday, who cares? And I joined like 10 minutes late cuz Microsoft Teams was putting me in like a sign-in loop. I had to like keep signing into my
Oh,
account and it wouldn't let me
yeah,
in. And I thought it was just a meeting between me and the PR agency for
sure.
it. But then I join and all of a sudden I only see like two names. In Teams, it just shows you a couple bubbles. But then I
Yeah,
noticed at a certain point, there's like 15 people in this meeting, and it's a meeting with the
yeah.
PR agency, the brand. And I just started like, I just hopped in the meeting and started like shooting the shit essentially with the people there.
Yeah,
And then I
sure.
realized they're smack dab in a meeting that I'm like 10 minutes late for, and I'm interrupting the whole thing.
You're like, "Hey, what's up, asshole?"
Yeah, exactly. How
And they're
you
like,
idiots doing?
Zach, there are 15 people on
Yeah.
this call?"
I assumed because I was the quote unquote talent, the meeting revolved around me, but it, it really didn't.
You probably just came off with a real strong personality, and they're probably like, "Man, this Zach guy's just owning it.
Yeah, this,
We
this
like him. Hey, he's spicy."
that's why we pay this guy the medium bucks.
Yeah. He's grabbing meat everywhere he can.
Yes. Come in, he's shaking hands, he's grabbing meat, he's doing a great job.
Oh. Speaking of meat, I got
Hmm.
a question I was meaning to ask you.
Ooh.
And yes, our patrons do get top priority of questions, but the people who get even higher priority in questions are the two of us. So, my question is no, actually, I want to save that for the after show. Never
Okay.
mind. I'm going to
Okay.
pick another question. Okay.
Okay.
K Corey 77 finishing period.
Mm,
Any tips for glued
there we go.
joints? Question mark. Final sanding grit? Question mark. Do you always use pre-stain?
Oh, okay.
Can I jump in? Actually, no, never mind. First one. Any tips for glued joints?
Yeah. Have a damp rag on hand at all times. I've
Yeah.
started doing this now for any glue up. I have a damp rag on hand. I just instead, a lot of people wait to the end and then scrape off the glue. I'm a much bigger fan of just wiping it off with a damp rag.
Getting it right at the beginning.
Get it right at the beginning. It's so much easier. I just did a couple panel glue ups before I came on the show, and I wiped the glue off. It was great.
Well, on a panel glue up for sure.
Yeah,
Like if you can get in there easy sanding,
yeah,
go for it.
yeah.
Another one is like let the glue set up maybe like 15 to 20 minutes so you get that like almost kind of like
Jelly.
icing jelly peanut butter type consistency,
Yeah.
and then just take like a putty knife and just kind of like push it in there and pull it out and then go back with a damp rag. I found that works pretty well too.
Yep, yep, that's definitely a good option. I don't know, other glue up tips. Too much glue is
Yeah,
way better
see,
than too little. Like, just go overkill with it.
see, I disagree.
Oh,
For
really?
like a
Okay.
panel glue up, yeah,
Yeah.
dude, go wild because you can easily get that. But
Yeah.
if you're like
Oh,
throwing together something real tight that like you
sure,
can't get in there to clean it up, you
sure.
don't need as much glue as you think you do.
That's true. That's true. I mean, assuming it's well like jointed, then you're not going to need a ton of glue to get the stuff to go together. But
Mm-mm.
trying to think if any other little glue, handy little glue up. Not really for like a panel glue up, but maybe if you were assembling some shop furniture or something like that, get a little CA glue and do a couple dabs of CA glue between your wood glue, and then use that as kind of like a clamp to hold the wood glue while it sets.
Oh, yeah, 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 I've
Yeah.
done that before.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice little. I've done it, making shop jigs and stuff like that, or something that I want to, bang together pretty quick. I don't really care how great it looks. Yeah, I'll do a couple little dabs of CA glue, activate it, smush it together with some wood glue in there, and then the CA glue will hold it for the 20 minutes that it takes for the wood glue to dry, and then once the wood glue dries, you're good to go.
So for me, I feel like The only time I think about doing something like that is if it's more of like for like a shop project or jig.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head, I and I feel like this is just made up. I tell myself like, "Oh, you couldn't do that on like a panel glue up for a piece of furniture." But you
Interesting.
absolutely could.
Yeah, you probably could. You probably could. I should try that sometime. The one thing I do find though, is sometimes CA glue will spread into the grains of the wood a little bit and stain. So
Yeah.
you end up with like kind of like a circle around where that CA glue blob was. That's like a little
Yeah.
darker. But yeah, eh.
Yeah. We're not making heirloom quality pieces.
Exactly. I'm just making stuff that I'm gonna throw in a fire at some point later in life, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, we make our money from making the content, not the
Yeah,
piece.
exactly. If I got a little
Um,
flaw in my thing, I just aim the camera in the other direction. We're good
oh
to go,
yeah,
baby.
who cares? Final sanding grit
Depends on the
for
finish.
finishing.
Depends.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got to just whatever the can says. Maybe look online on a YouTube video. I've found some people like I think Odie's oil will says 220, but some people
Yeah,
say you get a better finish if you go up to like 400, 600. So do a little
yeah,
research and see what people recommend. But 99% of the time, whatever the can says is great.
yeah. So like what I use on the dining table that I just finished, um, well, literally, I finished the project and I put finish on it too. That
Hmm.
was
What
double words there, but
what did you use if you don't mind me asking?
I use that vesting stuff that I told
Nice.
you about. That's effectively Rubio
I still
monocoat.
got to get in touch with them because
Yeah.
I need to find a new finish pretty soon.
Yeah, that Zach guy I'm pretty sure his name is Zach. I know I sent you the info.
You did.
He'll definitely send you a bunch of stuff.
Although I
Um,
just realized all that info is now deleted because your Instagram account was deleted. Our
oh,
whole
well, just message me. I'll send
Yeah,
it
yeah,
to
we'll
you.
figure it out. We'll
Um,
figure it out.
that tells you not to sand past like 120 or 150
Wow.
or something like that. Oh, dude, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's as a maker that's super convenient, right? Like don't have
It's
to
phenomenal.
yeah, yeah. Get to
So
save
what
yourself some
so
time.
what I do for that stuff is the same thing I do for Rubio.
Mhm.
Hit it with 80, 120, 150.
Yep.
Um, and then I put the first coat of like I don't we'll just say Rubio oil, whatever the hell. It's all the same thing. Put the first coat of oil on there, let it sit for 10, 15 minutes, wipe it off, and let that cure for like a day.
Okay.
Assuming that you use like the accelerator hardener stuff with it, which I don't know why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Um, After just about a day, get a red maroonish Scotch Brite pad, which is like effectively like a 3 or 400 grit,
Okay.
give or take. Sand the whole thing with that Scotch Brite pad until it has like an even, hazy, cloudy look to it.
Mhm.
Then take just like a dry towel, try to wipe all the dust and stuff off, whatever. And then I'll put another coat of that stuff on there.
Okay,
Done.
couple questions for you.
Yeah.
One, just a little procedure thing. Will you throw the Scotch-Brite pad on your random orbital sander?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
save a little bit of
If you
time.
can.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Or
not?
just go
Okay.
faster.
And then
Yeah.
my other question for you, you might not know this because you're not a chemist. Can you double up on the amount of accelerator that you use in order to get it to set up quicker?
I don't know.
I've always wondered this. And same thing with epoxy. You know how it's like two part? Like, can you mess with the hardener and potentially have it go off sooner or not or later, I guess?
My
Words are hard.
concern would be the workability time.
Yes.
Because even when I did this whole dining room table that was like it's like about 6 feet by 3 feet, I was spreading it fast with the squeegee and then buffing it in with a Scotch Brite pad as I was like the white Scotch Brite pad. Dude, once I got towards the end, who's out there? New neighbors. Sorry. Once it got towards the end, it started to definitely not be as easy flowing as it
Oh,
was at the
okay.
beginning. And it
Okay.
even tells you on the can, like, don't mix more up than you can evenly apply in like 15 or so minutes if you
Oh,
use the hardener.
interesting. Interesting. Okay. So, yeah. So, because I'm hearing you're saying 1 day for it to cure. But the
Oh, yeah.
but that's like a full cure, or at least cure to the point where you can touch it, but it's not workable past 30 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, it's dry to the touch in maybe an hour or 2.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Interesting,
so
interesting.
the accelerator definitely helps. I think they say, like, full 100% cure is, like, 5 to 7 days,
Okay.
but it's, like, 75 to 80% cured after, like, 2 days.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. You know what? It's funny. I actually had a complete tangent. I had a
Mhm.
call with one of the lead R&D people at Ecopoxy the other day because I'm working
Oh,
on a
nice.
project. Yeah, and so I made this list of like 20 questions about this product that they have called Biopoxy, and I was just like, we recorded the
I
whole thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but it was really nice to have it. It was nice to have that kind of access to, like, this guy was knew as everything there was to know about epoxy. It was really interesting.
Biopoxy 36 laminating epoxy resin.
That's right. I'm
Bio-based.
That's right. So I'm getting ready to do my second skateboard build. And instead of
Oh, okay.
using wood glue to laminate the wood, I want to use epoxy so that it permeates into the wood and makes it A, water resistant, B, a little bit more flexible, and C, a little bit more durable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it'd be the same idea where you put epoxy between your laminations.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Huh,
So I had like
that's
all the
sweet.
I had all these questions for him because technically biopoxy is not meant for laminating wood. It's meant for laminating composite materials.
Yeah,
So
like,
he
carbon fiber is what it said, and
Yeah,
fiberglass.
exactly. So I was having a conversation with him. He was like, I can't say it's going to work for sure, but there's no reason it wouldn't work type of thing. It's kind of like an off-label use for it. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
On their page, it says it's designed specifically to create composite parts, coating wooden boats,
Yes.
carbon fiber wet layup and repair, molding, and vacuum bagging.
Yeah. So it'll go on the outside of a wooden boat, but they don't know if it'll go between layers. They suspect it will, but they're not sure.
This says it's a woodworker's favorite. It may be used for wood laminations, coating, scarfing, strip planking, as well as bonding in form of fillet joints.
Huh.
Something, something.
Wait. So it says wood lamination on the site?
Yeah, the very first thing.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe this R&D guru that I talked to didn't really know as much as
Yeah,
he let on. Interesting. Interesting.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that a new product? I've never heard of it.
It's not very popular. I think it's relatively new, and it's not something that's kind of going around in the woodworking world. So they were kind of. I actually emailed them to say, "Hey, I'm looking to laminate some wood. Do you think this product would work for it?" And so they were kind of excited that I was going to use it for like a new product segment.
So the one that I'm probably familiar with is their Flowcast, right?
Yes, which I have a
Okay.
ton of, and I love that stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I
I
dig it.
also have another project coming up where I want to make you've seen those wireless chargers that you put your phone on, right?
Oh yeah.
I want to do I want to encase one of those, like take the crappy plastic housing that
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
with, take that off and then put that in epoxy so that I have like a clear see-through wireless charger.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and I was talking to them and I was like, is there any issue with heat dissipation? Like what kind of heat capacity can this epoxy take before it starts to break down or discolor, anything like that? And again, it was one of those things where they're like, we're not really sure what the upper limit is. Like around 100 watts, it starts to discolor, but like, does the wireless charger, is it going to put out 100 watts before the rest of the block can dissipate it? So it'll be one of those videos where I'll kind of do it and I won't be sure that it's going to work when I start the video.
So I like that idea as long I mean if Ecopoxy is sponsoring it, it could be potentially problematic. Like hypothetically
Yeah.
say that you do this and you're like, yeah, this failed.
Yeah.
If they're sponsoring it potentially be
Yeah.
bad. But I think that's the beauty of when content as far as content goes. Like if you're going into something having no idea with if
Yeah.
it's going to work,
Exactly.
say it.
Yeah.
And people will and if it fails, people will love
Yeah.
to see why it
Yes.
failed.
Yeah. And for reference or whatever, they're not actually sponsoring it. I had the guy on the phone and I was like, let me ask this guy about this other idea that I have for their other product while I have him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think it'll be fun.
I said go for it.
Because I want to try, and like if that works, there's a whole bunch of other things I want to try encasing in epoxy. I was thinking, like maybe I could make like a see-through computer case out of epoxy or something like that, or a speaker case or something.
Why not just use acrylic?
Acrylic is you could use acrylic. I mean, it would be a little harder. You would have seams and stuff, whereas if you did it out of like a solid block of epoxy, you could
And then like carve it out.
yeah, something like that. Or
Oh,
even I don't know, like I was thinking like so what about if I could pry the back of my phone off and then I could encase it in epoxy. Then I could lay it in a tub of epoxy so that just the
uh-huh,
bottom of
uh-huh.
the phone was submerged in the
Oh,
epoxy. And then I could carve off all the excess and I would have like a perfectly see through back on the back of my phone. I mean, probably wouldn't try that with like an actual good phone, but might be kind of fun to buy a phone for $100 off Craigslist and then try that.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be operational.
Exactly. Yeah.
You
It's
could
just
buy like a phone that was like literally just sold for parts,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So and yeah, I don't know, maybe I don't know. I like the idea of seeing inside all the working parts because like if you've ever seen inside a phone, it's kind of crazy in there. You got like you have your battery, you got the camera modules, you got the motherboard. It's interesting stuff. I like it.
I dig it. I remember. We never got to the last question.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was the last part of that
Do
question?
you always use pre-stain?
Oh
What the
yeah.
hell is pre-stain?
So pre-stain is like a very light polyurethane that you can brush onto your wood that seeps into the pores and closes some of the pores on open grain wood that tends to get a little splotchy. So like your pine, you know how if you stain pine, it's all blotchy and weird.
I just don't work with pine
Yeah, well
and don't
that's
stain it.
yeah.
Two easy solutions.
But
Don't use pine. Don't use stain.
if you do have a wood that you want to stain that you're worried about it going splotchy, you can hit it with some pre-stain and that closes the pores so
Okay.
that the stain goes on evenly. It won't be as intense, so it makes your stain like a little less pigmenty, if you will.
Okay.
Um, but it will make it go on even. So that's kind of the trade-off. I will only ever use pre-stain on pine and like hemlock and really soft woods like that, and then I would just not stain any other type of wood. So
Here's my thing. If you want your wood to be dark and look like walnut,
by walnut.
just use walnut.
Yeah. Well, I bought like oh man, I bought the littlest amount of walnut yesterday. It was $350.
Oh, I believe it. I told you for my dining table, it was almost $1,000 of
Yeah.
lumber.
Yeah. This was nowhere near a dining table's worth of wood though. This was like 3 boards. Uh,
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. What are you talking like a 7-inch wide board by 8 feet long?
yeah, it was. I had some 4/4 stuff. I had some 8/4 stuff. So I think
Yeah,
it's
I
the
believe it.
yeah. The 8/4 stuff adds up quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you paying per board foot? Like
I didn't even
10
I
to
didn't
12
even look.
bucks?
It's too depressing. I know if I look at the price sheet at the lumber yard, then I won't buy enough wood. I'll try and I'll try and like cut it as close as I can, and then I'll end up getting too little wood, and I'll have to go back. So I just don't look. I play a little mental game with myself where I don't look at the price. I'm like, just get enough.
Isn't it funny that now that you've transitioned to like doing content within reason, you don't even look at the price of like the materials that you're buying to make stuff.
Yes, that's very
You know what I
true.
mean?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And like even like if I'm going to like buy like little accessories that are going to make the job that much easier, like
Oh yeah, I
brushes and
don't
stuff
care.
like that. I don't even think about it. It's like okay, Amazon like send it to the shop right away, like tax write
Yeah.
off, tax write off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like I was like, "Oh, I gotta buy a dining table, and I was like, I don't know how much wood I need. I'll get all these boards, and
Yeah.
like it's walnut. I'll use it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Like
having leftover materials is great because it's just stuff for another project, and it's like, well, hopefully I'll make it up on the back end with the AdSense money or a sponsorship or
well,
something like
you
that.
will,
Yeah, yeah, that's the
and
thing.
so
Like,
like
I can pretty comfortably count on X amount of dollars for YouTube or for sponsorships or whatever, and it's like, okay, that's my budget for building for the month essentially. So
yeah,
yeah, it's nice. It makes you not. It's I don't know. It's part of. It's like the expense of running a business. It's different than your own money, if that makes any sense.
yeah. It's I feel like it's kind of a jerk saying that, but I mean, like, I get it's true.
Yeah, it's just it does happen at a certain point.
At a certain point, some expenses just become irrelevant.
Yes, yes, especially when you're trying to do something that's time sensitive, like create content, right?
Sure.
If you can save a couple days by spending 25, 50, 100 bucks, you can accelerate your timetable, get your content out that much quicker. It's
Yeah.
it's almost always worth it. It's yeah. So
Like, when I bought that Rotex sander, like, dude, I can't tell you how much time that saved me
yeah,
on this dining table.
yeah.
Sure, it was what, 600 bucks. The
Mhm.
vacuum was another 8, 900. I bought a bunch of sandpaper, had, like, I don't all in, it was, I don't know, like $2,000.
It
Sure, that's a lot of money, but dude, it saved me so much time and it's almost like irrelevant.
it's well instead of I don't know, you're kind of re-examining or changing how your relationship with some of these expenses, right? They're not
Yeah.
expenses anymore. They're investing in assets for your business.
Yeah, I'm saving myself time
Yeah.
by spending money, and
Yeah.
I'll do that all day.
And you're also increasing the value of your channel because again, you're able to create content faster, get more
Yeah.
videos out there, get more, pictures, whatever, TikToks out there. And yeah, that makes you more money at the end of the day. So it's like, why wouldn't you spend that 1800 bucks?
I would do that all day,
Yeah.
every day, especially 'cause, sanding sucks.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Alright, let's see. I got one. Oisota. Oisota.
Okay.
Okay. Thoughts on hand tools versus power tools?
I mean, personally, I'm a power tool type of guy.
Yeah,
If I can do it with a power tool, I almost always will. I mean, there's a point where hand tools make sense. Like today, I had to I cut these squares into a piece of wood using the CNC, and I was going to thread some metal rod through it,
sure.
and I accidentally made the hole like a 64th too small or something like
Uh,
that. So I go to thread the rod through and it wouldn't fit.
what was that
Rather,
motion again?
yeah, this.
For anybody who's not watching us on the YouTube live stream, which, by the way, is how you can listen to the episodes before they get to Spotify.
Mhm.
Uh, Zach was making a gesture as though he was buttering a ear of corn
Yeah.
very
Well, if I
sexually.
was dipping a cob of corn into a vat of butter,
Butter, or maybe churning butter
yeah.
in an up
Um,
and down motion.
Oh, now, Eric, you made me forget what I was saying.
It's
Um.
thoughts on hand
Oh,
tools. You're
yes,
like,
yeah, yeah. So,
"Oh, 64th of an inch hole."
yes, my hole was a 64th of an inch too small. So
Yeah,
I didn't go grab the jigsaw. I went and got a little file and
sure.
filed it, right? So sometimes the precision of a hand tool is worth the added time it takes. But
Agreed.
in general, I will almost always default to using a power tool instead of a hand tool.
And so we kind of talked about, well, pretty much almost the whole episode of Chris, Giffro.
Yeah,
He was on episode, like,
pretty early
5
on.
or 7 or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Pretty
something
is
like
he
that.
was our first guest, right?
Second, I think we did John from Lincoln Street first.
Okay, John was episode 5, so Chris was probably, like, 8, 9, 10, or something like that, but
Cool.
he is a massive hand tool enthusiast. Like,
Yes.
he
Yeah.
was basically, we had a whole litany of questions like, "How does a hand plane work?" To
Yeah.
give you an idea of how little we know about
Yeah.
hand planes. Um,
He rolled his eyes. He was like, "Oh, these guys."
he thought we were kidding when we asked some of these questions. He's like, "Oh, no, no, wait, you're serious?" And we're like, "Yeah." So if you wanna know more about hand tools, check out Chris's stuff. Talk to
Oh, yeah.
Chris.
Chris is great. Check out his YouTube channel, especially. He does a lot of in depth videos on hand tools. It's great.
Oh, I think it is our duty. Neither of us are getting paid a dime for this. We need to shout out the new, or not new, the Katz Moses Woodworking for with Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund.
Yeah, definitely.
So Chris is in charge of that. He's like the
I know. Yeah, I
director
can't.
of it or something.
Yeah, I want to say director is probably the right term.
But I know J Katz just put out a video within the last couple days or so,
Oh,
kind of highlighting all the different projects that they're doing and all the different ways that you can get involved with it. It's really cool.
oh, I didn't see that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it just came out. It's like 7, 8 minutes long.
Perfect.
But definitely, if anyone listening has any interest in all in just,
Mhm.
joining an awesome woodworking related foundation, again, we get zero kickbacks. That's not what this is about. We just, it's awesome to
Yeah,
get that out.
yeah.
And it
No,
reminded me because of Chris.
they're doing some really great work, and Chris is working hard on it. I know Jake Hat's working hard on it, so go check it out. Give him a little support.
It's sweet. But yeah, hand tools versus power tools. I recognize that there are sometimes, like you said, that hand tools would be super convenient. Like,
Hmm.
I know that if I glued up a table and I had just a little bump action, that the boards aren't perfectly met up together, I know in my mind that a hand plane would knock that out in no time,
Yep.
right? But I don't own a hand plane, and for me, it is such like a barrier. I don't know how to use them. I don't know how to sharpen them.
Hmm.
That truthfully, in my mind, I'm intimidated by it. So
Yeah.
I'd rather just sand it.
My thing is the point where I always get turned off at hand tools is kind of what you alluded to there is the maintenance of them. Somebody's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you got to take it apart and sharpen it like once a week." It's like, "What's a week? I ain't got time for that."
I don't even have I still have a stack of blades that I've been meaning to take to my, to, like, we got, like, a sharpening surface.
Yeah.
Dude, they've been s the that stack of blades has been sitting underneath my workbench for probably 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather just order a new blade off of Amazon, slap it on the
I
saw.
know. I know. I need to try some of those blades that J-Cats always tells people, those, like, CMT ones or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've not
Like,
tried them. I know we got the same, like, whatever the industrial red ones are, the
the
Freud
Diablo
thing.
ones? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they're the Diablo's like the home center one. These are the industrial ones that are, like,
I thought
a little bit more.
I thought Freud owned Diablo. I
I
thought
think they do, but I
okay.
think it's like a different line. I
Okay,
think it's like
okay.
the lower end line. You have the ones that are probably like 60, $70 a piece.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, those are the industrial
Okay,
ones.
gotcha,
You probably
gotcha.
can't read it anymore
Yeah, yeah.
on the side.
I have very few saw blades where you can still read the original text. I have
I
people.
always buy them in 2 though.
Oh, that's smart.
So, like,
Cool.
I just like, once I finally, like, clean a blade a couple times and, like, I'm still like, "Alright, this sucks."
Yeah,
Then I put it in my pile to get sharpened, and then I take one of the other ones out of the brand new or just sharpened pile and then start using those,
that's a good call.
and that blade is starting to get to the point where it needs sharpened too, so I was like, I gotta take these in."
You got to start when you take the one and you put it in the bin underneath your bench. You need to write the name from the good one where you can still read the label onto it before you tuck it away.
Oh. It's
I
not a
mean,
bad idea.
that's a level of foresight I would never be able to execute myself, but
No,
maybe you're a little smarter than I am, so maybe you
no.
can do it.
I feel it's so lazy though, like you said, like, dude, I don't wanna go through the hassle of sharpening a blade. I truly would rather just jump online and buy a new one.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's wasteful, but again, I find myself time constrained more than anything else in my life right now. So,
So
it
what is it how much does it cost to get your blade sharpened? Like 20 bucks? And to buy a new one, it's like 75-ish, give or
yeah,
take?
and then also like the I know the blade sharpening place is like 45 minutes away from me. So, 45
Oh,
minutes to drop it off, then you go home, then so there's an hour and a half round trip. They call you up a few days later, "Hey, your blades are ready." Hour and a half back and forth to go get it again. It's like,
yeah, I'd rather buy a new one.
I'd rather buy a
You
new
know
one.
what I need to look into?
What's that?
Are there any of these places where I can just mail my blades?
Maybe. But then even going boxing them up, going to the post office, it seems like a lot to me.
See, luckily for me, when I go to the gym, the post office is literally on the road that I
Mhm.
take to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So I would have no issue dropping it off. I
Yeah.
just am I ever actually going to do that?
I'm I'm so bad with returns. Like a couple of times I bought stuff for projects off Amazon
Oh,
And
yeah.
Amazon's great about taking returns. They'll be like, "Hey, just yeah, no problem. Like put it in a mailbox and send it back to us." But for like low value items, I just can never work up the not courage, but the chutzpah to actually go do it. Like put it in a box, seal it, put a label on it, take it to the post office, send it out. If it's $20, it's like, I don't know. I'll just hang on to it and hope I need it again in the future.
You know what's funny is I ordered, 2 new pairs of sunglasses
Hmm.
online, and it's from one of those, like, e-com stores, so
Sure.
it's like, they're like 25, $30 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they show up, and I'm like, "I just don't really like the way they look," but the whole thing was like, "Oh, we got, like, free shipping, free return," so I was like,
Yep.
"Okay, I'll order them. If I don't like them, I'll just send them back, no
Yep.
problem." Well, I go online, and I'm like, "Alright, I'm gonna return them," and I fill out the whole return thing, and they're like, "Okay, we've processed your return. No need to send them back."
Oh,
My thought is they spend so little money on these that it
yes.
probably costs them more money to return it
Yep.
than to just let you keep it and give you your money back.
If you're a big sunglass manufacturer, you're making the sunglasses for $5 a unit or whatever,
Yeah.
then it's going to cost more to have somebody like pick up your box, open it, put it back in inventory.
Yeah.
And then you have to have somebody there inspecting it for damage. You have to have somebody repackaging it. It's honestly not worth it for a low value item. I don't know what the cutoff line would be where it starts to be worth it, but yeah,
I know Amazon does that. Not with everything, but with some
yeah.
stuff, like you go to try to do it on Amazon, they'll be like, "Oh, just like send it into UPS." And sometimes they're just like, "God, just keep it."
Yeah. So this happened to me actually. I ordered some polish for my car, like a spray bottle
Yeah.
of it. It
Yeah, yeah.
arrived and it was broken, so it was leaking a little bit. So
Sure.
I almost because I'm lazy, I almost just let it ride. I was like, it's not leaking that bad. You know what? Like I'll just keep. If you bought this from a store and it was leaking, you would take it back for return.
It was
Anyways,
probably like 10 or 15 bucks.
it was more. It was like 30 or something like that.
Okay.
So I go on.
Sure. I'd say something.
I go on the chat thing
Oh, yeah.
I go on the automatic system first. I'm like, this item showed up damaged, return. And they're like, okay, no problem. Like print out a shipping label and send it back to us. And I was like, ugh. So then I go on the live chat and I explain to the person, I was like, hey, this is a liquid in a bottle that got to me cracked. Like, do you really want me to send back a leaking bottle in the mail?
Sure.
And they're like, oh no, that's ridiculous. Like, here's your money
And then,
back.
like, instantly just gave you your money back, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Actually, they sent me another bottle of it because I actually needed the stuff, but still, yeah.
Yeah. That's an Amazon, not a hack, I guess, but if people don't know this, if you go on Amazon, scroll to the way, 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 way bottom of the page, and there's, like, a help or something like that,
Yeah.
click that, and then it'll give you this whole litany of things to click on, but then hit, like, "I still need more help,"
Yeah.
and then you get access to, like, the Amazon, like, you're, like, texting,
Live
chatting.
agent, I think they call it.
Yeah, live agent, sure. Dude, they'll do, like, anything on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. They're usually very, very good. They although I find that they change the location of it like every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Because I'll get the
But if
muscle
you
memory
hunt
for
around, you'll find it.
yeah, you just have to search around every single time. But yeah, it's handy. You'll get much better customer service from the live agent than anywhere else.
Oh, yeah. I 100% feel you. There's something I was gonna ask. Huh.
It wasn't the meat question, was it?
No, no, no. Oh, well, so I got something for you.
Okay.
Woodworking is fun and all this kind of stuff, making content's fun, but there's one thing that's absolutely awful about being a woodworker.
What's that? Sanding?
Well, no, no, but I think we're at an hour and 4 minutes in.
No way, really?
Yeah,
Time flies when you're having fun.
okay. Well, let's save this for the after show.
Okay.
The worst thing about being a woodworker.
Okay.
So,
And also the meat question. So you got two teases for the after show in
oh,
there.
oh, yeah, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I'm a big meat guy. So, here's my question that I wanna ask you in the after show about the meat. If you had to open up any fast food restaurant,
Got my answer.
what would it
Easy.
be?
Easy.
Okay,
Not a
okay.
problem.
So, if you're a big meat guy or girl And you want to know the worst thing about being a woodworker? We're going to head over to the after show where you get another, half hour to an hour of additional podcasting
Hmm.
content. And, sometimes we talk about some spicy stuff, throw some people under the bus,
Hmm.
tell you which brands to avoid, which tools to avoid.
True. You get our real honest opinions about
Yeah.
tool brands and product brands, and yeah, it's fun.
Advertisers that we hate working with
Exactly. We
and
throw
things
a
we
lot
regret.
of people under the bus.
Yeah. I feel like that's mostly after show. Be like, you know what drives me nuts?
Yeah, this damn company.
Oh, they're the worst. But I got the bus warmed up. What do you
Yay.
say we head over to the after show?
Sounds good. Hop in that Greyhound.
Oh yeah. I'm popping in a movie, maybe a Bug's Life. We can watch Bug's Life on the way to the after show. Not Bug's Life 2, the original one.
The original, yeah, yeah, yeah,
All
clearly.
right. Everybody, we will see you over at the after show. And we'll say that because all of you are going to go to the after show. But if
That's
you don't, we'll see you next week.
sounds good. See you, everybody.
See ya.
All right.
Saved her. I feel
Good
like that one
show.
went really fast today.
That one flew by. When you said hour and 4 minutes, I thought we were like 30 minutes in.
Well, that's why I legitimately was like, "Oh, I got a question for you." And I was like, "Wait,
Yeah, yeah. Let me check the runtime.
we're deep in."
How
Recommend, saved.
does anybody actually watching the YouTube streams today? Because we started so late.
Jason and Maker's Way, baby.
Oh, nice. Okay, so can we do a little quick? What do we want to call this episode?